All right, we're back for another episode of the Arguing Brothers podcast. Fellas, how you doing today?
Good, baby. Good.
Man, light and easy. Light and easy. Enjoying the good weather, you know.
Shout out to the Sabrina for letting you use her
Laptop.
laptop and account so that you can get on this podcast and join the podcast for the day.
Yo, you might get our
You know what I
viewings
mean?
up, dog. We be like, oh, we got
Congratulations for
Sabrina
that.
up there. We're like, damn, we got a woman on the show?
Appreciate Bree being able to let you instead of you couldn't get yourself together.
Hey,
Appreciate
man.
letting you do that, man.
Hey, man, it's all
is
good.
a,
I ain't
that
tripping.
is a good feeling right there. And if she can step in there, let us.
Hey, it's a team sport, you know, team thing. It's team thing.
Oh yeah,
Is it now?
It's
You
team,
see
you know.
that, man. We appreciate that. Appreciate that 100%.
The last name doesn't say team.
Hey, it's what it is. I know what to say on them papers. I know what to say on them papers. I know what to say on them papers.
I hear that, dog. All right, man. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot of sports things happening this past week. A lot of transactions happening within the NFL, NBA playoffs going on. Playing games was a little exciting. It was good to watch these teams who, normally if at the end of the season they be sitting at home figuring out the draft situation, but now, they're able to play in this tournament, and we got some really good games, some intense games out of it. So, furthermore, let's dive into that first. Talk about it, man. Let's talk about the East playoff breakdown. Get into that. First and foremost, let's recap the last two games we saw yesterday. With the East, Chicago and Miami. Good game, went down to the wire. Struggle for the most part in the first half. Both teams played hard and played and got exciting at the end of the game. What was your thoughts, D, about Miami moving forward? What did you get out of that playing game that you think could maybe help them as far as to Milwaukee next?
To me personally, I think Miami struggled at times to score, and I think that's going to hurt them with Milwaukee. I mean, yesterday Jimmy Butler had a better game than what he had the game before, but they got a big lift from Strus, who coming off the bench, and they end up starting him, and Kyle Lowry came off the bench. But you can't really count on that every game because he shot well from the 3-point, which kept him in the game in the first half. He got him going early, but I mean, against Milwaukee is a better defensive team, and Chicago a good defensive team too. They pack everything down in the middle. You can't get no inside buckets. But I just think that Miami have a lot of times have struggled to score. Jimmy buckets, he missed a lot of inside layups and stuff like that, and they struggle a lot. And you can't have that against Milwaukee. Milwaukee, they've been hurt all year, but they still maintain who they are. And I think even though they went 2-2 against each other during the season, I think Milwaukee is going to punish them because of last year and this year, and now that they're healthy, and if Middleton can just be 80%, if he's 80%, then they really going to put him. And I think it'll go. I think Miami will win one. They may win, but I think it'll be a 4-1 series. But as far as Miami just playing, I mean, they played well in the playing games. But dude, you don't play 2 games in 1 week and got to turn around and play these and play a well-oiled machine now. Your legs. I mean, let's believe you don't play the whole season. You had to play 2 games to get in the playoffs. Now you got to play the number 1 seed where they don't have rest Middleton has had time to get his knee healed and things like that. And they were able to watch them both games to see where weaknesses, where they can attack them for the playoffs. So I don't see Miami having a chance. I just think that they just going to go out there and just give it all they got. But I do think that Milwaukee going to beat them in 5.
Right?
Yeah, man, it was a good game last night. Chicago gave it, they gave it they all. Just came up a little bit short. And it's just, Miami, bro, there's this type of team that's just streaky.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, bro, like throughout the whole year, whether Jimmy been hurt or players been in and out, like Kyle Lowry been in and out. He didn't play last night because of his knee. But that's the frustrating thing about, especially Jimmy Butler. Like, he has this capability to do it every single night, right? And I know you're not going to give this type of effort for 82 games, but, even leading up to the end of the season, they were resting players. Like, when they played Washington, they resting players like they got the playoff seed locked up already. Like, but it's just frustrating. Like, Jimmy put him on their back last night, had 31, 33, something like that. Huge game, especially down the stretch when they needed buckets. He was able to get anything he wanted. Strus was playing well, hitting big shots. But can you count on Strus to give you that type of production against Milwaukee?
Exactly.
Right? And, Tyler Hero, he's going to give you what he give you. Right? He's playing well, but it's house money, man. And, me for Miami, they're a scrappy team. I think they can scrap up one game. Milwaukee swept them 2 years ago. But I can see one game, bro, but it might be another sweep. They just don't have enough. And they don't have no size, nobody that can even put a body in front of Giannis. And that's the biggest point. And then Bam going to get in foul trouble. And Miami is a very streaky three-point team. That's the only thing that can probably keep them in some of the games. But I don't see them defensively putting any pressure on Milwaukee, and especially if Chris Middleton can give them at least 17 to 18, work his way back. But, yeah, I might not even see a game, dog, honestly, bro.
Strus gave them 31.
Wait. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm just saying.
One,
now I'm excited, man.
and then
No.
one. You say your question until after the third go.
All right, go
So
ahead.
he's just out here.
Sabrina, stop jumping in.
Goodness gracious alive, man. Anyway, so yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think I said this through our text that I just think it's going to be a wash. This is going to be a sweep. I mean, what the Atlanta game showed me is, man, this team is small. They are a small team that just lacks a lot of size and lacks some depth.
That's why you got
And man, once they get out there and they play against, Milwaukee's probably the largest, if not the largest front lineup and in the league. We just talking about Giannis, but you didn't even bring up Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is going to play a major factor. Now that's the thing. Can they get Brook Lopez in foul trouble so that Brook is not such a factor in this game? But if he is, he's gonna be a major play. Yeah, it's just gonna be they got too many weapons, and then Milwaukee, outside of maybe Boston as well, are two of the most versatile teams I've seen in the playoffs in a long time. Sure. They really do have a lot of different lineups they can play. They can go small with Crowder, and some of the other players out there. Then they can go with Bobby Portis. Yep. They got a lot of lineups they can throw at you, and I think that's going to be the issue. If Giannis is playing well, and you got the shooting coming from Milwaukee, which is a very good shooting team as well. Drew Holiday is going to lock up one of your best players, if not the best player. Right. He's either going to take Tyler Hero, or he's going to take Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. And then this is the thing: if you're just afraid that Jimmy Butler's size can be an issue against Holiday, you can go get Crowder, you can go get other players off the bench and come in and play that role. You still got Wesley Matthews can give you valuable minutes. Yeah, this is not going to be much of a series, man. This is going to be over in 4. It's going to be done.
And they can throw a lot of bodies at Jimmy too and weigh him down. Got Grayson Allen that can test them. Like they got a lot. Of bodies.
It's gonna be a wash, brother. It's not, I just don't see it. I just don't see what could they really do to change the momentum of this team of this game or even the series, because they just don't have the bodies. They don't have the talent. And we got to talk a little bit about once Dante Stoney gets his question off about what Miami's going to do moving forward, because this is going to be interesting to them. They're going to have a lot of different things they're going to have to figure out moving forward, because Miami right now, as currently constructed, cannot beat some of the top 4 to 5 teams.
Nah,
I'm not even the league, and they cannot beat the top 4 or 5 teams in the East. Not currently constructed. They can't do it.
Yeah, they need another big.
They do. Jonathan, what's your thoughts?
I think with yeah, I mean, they first of all, they thought when Jimmy came there and with Riley, they were gonna draw like some of the top talent, but they're going elsewhere. And they're gonna have to figure it out. Either they're gonna have to get it through the draft. Well, the way it's looking, they're gonna have to get it through the draft. Because nobody don't want to go to Miami. I mean,
which is absolutely ludicrous, by the way.
Yeah, no state tax, 11 M.
Yeah, but if that's the case, why he hasn't got nobody down there?
Like to make a trade or something.
They're gonna have to figure it out, or I mean, maybe they can bring in Kyrie. Maybe Kyrie wants to be there.
Because I'm like, who are you gonna trade? Who is worth something outside of Bam? Who else is worth something in Miami that you can get people to come to Miami? I mean, to trade for.
Euro nice. Everybody looking for shooting.
Yeah, but I mean, now you back to square. So who your other? You gonna just keep Strus? You gonna depend on Strus to be your shooter?
But like you said, if you're gonna go the trade route, like you trading him for someone that can give you 25, right? He's like a star. Right? You're not just giving Tyler Hero away just for anybody.
Well, I mean, even if you trade Tyler Hero or you trade somebody else, you're gonna want to bring in talent. Yeah. But the problem is with Miami, with the Heat, which way do you go? Do you want to go young? Do you want to stay in the realm of having more of a veteran team? You want a mixture? They got a lot of different things they're gonna have to figure out because from a team standpoint, they're fairly old. Bam was probably one of the youngest, better assets. You may have to trade Bam to get somebody in there. If you do that, then who are you gonna bring in? I mean, listen, like I said before, you have a Kyrie who will be a free agent. Why not look for that? If you can deal with Kyrie's personality, why not bring him to Miami? But if you can't do that, then what you gonna do? So it's a situation where, Miami gonna have to figure out where they want to go in the future. And then you also gotta look at this. You gotta look at there's no state tax, but think about what you're dealing with when it comes to Florida, the state of Florida, government issues, exactly. The government that is as ludicrous from a political standpoint. So the political nature is going to come into some problem too, because you're going to have to think about that as well as you're making your decision. Like from a political standpoint, do you want to be involved in what's going on in Florida? Because Florida's off the chain. Yeah, Miami's great. Miami may be a little different. And you're downtown Miami playing basketball. You're doing all the different things. It's beautiful. But you're still in the state of Florida, which already has its own internal political issues. So, then that comes with beliefs, the frame of mind, the thoughts. And somebody like Kyrie, he's supposed to feel a little different about a lot of different things. So, it's going to be tough to see where they go. Well, Pat Riley makes way more money than me to figure it out. So,
because if not, they're going to be a bottom 16.
No, it's going to be that way. And the other teams have very young nucleus talent. Like Milwaukee has a very young, talented trio. And if they do want to make a change, they can make it because they have assets, right? I mean, Brooklyn. Even Brooklyn has some young.
Oh yeah, bro.
Nucleus of talent. We already talked about the Celtics, right? It's gonna be interesting to see what Brown does, right? Tatum and So it's gonna be interesting to see what he does from his standpoint, and that is gonna be some type of shift when people like Bradley Beal finally realize he's not going to win in DC and demands a trade. That's going to be a shift if he stays on the East Coast, or then he goes West. That's going to be a shift as far as talent because he'll be a good 1B or a good second best player on the team. Right?
I just think Bradley Beal I just think Bradley Beal like where he at. Pay me my money. He's just about getting paid. I can do what I want to do in DC. Keep up what I'm doing. Everybody else talking about championships or whatever. But hey, just pay me my money. I'll keep playing my 60 games or 50 games a season, do whatever I want to do, and then it is what it is. I retire. The biggest thing, though, what Dame going to do, and I think that will make a shift in certain situations, if whatever decision he makes.
And that's another question, right? What Dame's going to do, right? That's going to be another conversation to have that people got to have because Dame's going to make a big factor in exactly how the NBA is going to look in the immediate future. Next year it's gonna look totally different because of people like Dane Dollars. Dane Dollars he's got to. I mean, when he comes out eventually finally says, "Hey, I can't take it anymore. I wanna move on and get to an organization where I can win." That's gonna be crazy because there's only so many teams to offer, and they're gonna have the assets to bring him there.
Cap space.
Exactly, the cap space.
$60 million.
His money is ridiculous. His money is ridiculous. So that's another person that we're gonna have once we keep our eyes on it. Another situation the NBA is gonna have to figure out. Not the NBA, but these teams gonna have to figure out, right? And maybe Miami would be a good place for him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but you're going to have to give like a lot of assets.
You got to do what you got to do to try to win.
Miami is a good. I think Miami will be a good organization for him. Right, that would be something that he can get there and win immediately. Yep. They eventually, if Dane gets there, you keep Jimmy Butler, you got Bam. That's an instant trio, instant three that probably becomes maybe what the second, or third, or fourth best team in the East for sure.
Yeah,
I mean but you also got to realize the Knicks are going up.
Yeah,
the Cleveland Cavaliers going up.
Billy Moore's Cleveland.
76ers going up. So these are everybody's getting better and better and better, right? And then also what's gonna happen with Atlanta?
I about to say Trey might be on the
like with Trey and Trey Young, a situation there. That's gonna be something different, right? So and they think they're trying to do that right now while his salary still a little bit is flexible enough to trade him. Yeah. Because it comes back next year and they ain't gonna be that way.
Nick got some pieces too.
Yeah.
I got some pieces.
So we talked a little bit about just the Miami game, but give me your thoughts real quick, Don, to start us off. Boston, Atlanta, where you see this game, the series going?
I think it can go 6. Because Boston, and the only reason I say that Atlanta got some little competitive in them. Like I don't think they just gonna. I don't think Boston just gonna smash them. I think they're gonna be competitive because now they didn't. I mean, due to the fact that they got in the playing game, Quinn Snyder, he's a quality coach. He did some things with Utah and things like that to help them get where they needed to go. But it all going to depend on, can Trey Young stay level headed? Can him and the other kid, Murray, that's the other kid, if they're going to play every night, and Capella's going to have to control the boards, get easy buckets, get the trash buckets. They don't really, and John Collins going to have a great game. It's going to have to be an all around thing with Atlanta. I think Atlanta get 1, maybe 2. I mean, they might. I don't think they'll win in Boston. They'll get maybe 1 at home. So I think it'd be like a 5-game series. But I do think Atlanta, if they can make shots, if they can make the outside shot and be consistent and play better defense, and like I said, Capella control the boards and move the ball, because you're gonna have to play fast against Boston. Because Boston gets you in that half court. They play good defense. They play real good defense, and they can, lock you down. But if Atlanta make their outside shots and their perimeter shots and not turn the ball over, that's gonna be key. Not turning the ball over. I think this game can even go 5, maybe 6, but I don't think it's gonna be a sweep.
Man, how many times you gonna predict it, man? You said like 5, 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 5.
You saying 5 or 6? Like how many?
I'm gonna go with the 5.
How many times you gonna bet? Okay.
I'm gonna go with the 5.
All right, so you're gonna go with the 5.
I'm going to 5.
All right, Sabrina.
I think so we're watching the game right now. First possession, they turn it over. So I guess which John Collins are we gonna get? Right, like he has the potential to be 20 and 10 every night. And I think Capella gonna be neutralized because you got Williams, Harford. Like they got bodies to crash the board. But I just think Atlanta defensively just not gonna be able to stop Boston. Boston gonna get anything they want. So it's over in 5. So I don't see it going. Atlanta just don't play enough defense, really. They'll get 1. I think they'll get 1 in Atlanta. Probably be game 3 or game 4.
This series is going 7 games. Well, Boston will win, but it will be a 7-game series. It will be a 7-game series. They're going to win. Boston's going to win, but it's going to be a very competitive series. It's going 7 games. When they get to hot Atlanta, it's going to be a different vibe. You're going to be down, in that Boston logic. It's going to be hot Atlanta in that thing.
You send somebody to the hotel or something?
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, I think honestly, I think that Atlanta has the type of team that can give Boston problems. length, athleticism, good wing play. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be some situation where I think they're going to just pull away. Whereas Devontae Murray, Trey, long as Trey gets in his spots, play good fundamental, strong basketball. Because I mean, Marquise Morris is probably going to guard him. Not Marquise Morris, excuse me.
Marcus.
Marcus. Marcus Smart probably going to check him. So I think, listen, I think there's some good matchups here for the Hawks. I think the kid came out, the kid that came out of Virginia. Man, I'm breaking old now. Hunter, yeah, Hunter's back. He's been out for a while before the actual playoff start. He was out for a while, so he's back. Yeah. I like this team.
They got talent. They just got a lot of wings, but they got talent. They still got Bogdanovich too, number 3, right?
Yeah, Bogdanovich, yeah.
Yeah, they got talent, though. For whatever reason, they just can't put it together. Coming off the Eastern Conference Finals trip 2 years.
I like this team and this makeup against and with a coach that is not really his style, is not known too much in the East. I think he can make some adjustments here, and I like it going 7. They probably won't, but I like it going 7 because I feel like they just have a team that can get them some issues. I do.
They got some wins.
All right, so let's go into the next one. 3 against 6. Philly against Brooklyn. Game already happened. Philly's up 1-0. Well, these starters out. What's your thoughts on this series? How many games you want to give?
5. I think it's going to be 5 too. I think Brooklyn will get 1, but I think the way Philly is focused now, they know that they at least got to get to the conference finals. Or that team, you might have to do something with that team, and you might have to do something with that coach. And I think James Harden has settled into that role. He's been playing well. Maxey's been playing well. Embiid is being Embiid and doing what it takes. The thing with them, no one can. If now they have injury, then that changes. Anybody out of that 3 get Maxey, Embiid, or James Harden get hurt, that changed their whole dynamics of that team. So if they can stay healthy, I think they finish them in 5, and I think they can get to the conference finals if they continue to stay focused and get good help from the bench and things like that. I really do think Philly can do it. But if they don't, then it's going to be a long summer in Philly, and I think they're going to have to do something with that team.
It's over in 4.
Okay.
They just don't have enough to stop Embiid, bro. Honestly, they can get anything they want at the rim, but they just don't have enough size. Like, Nick Claxton is just too small. Finney Smith just too small. Like, this is an Embiid series that average 40. Like, he can average 40 if he wants to, honestly. And I just think they just don't have enough. Now, Miles Bridges, this is a coming out party for him to show that he's the piece of that trade and not KD, right? Because since they made that trade, dude has been putting on a show. He's been putting on a show. Like he's shown that he had the potential to be a star. He was, behind Booker, CP3 out in Phoenix, and they was looking at him as just a defensive guy. But dude can put it on the floor. Like, dude is a baller. But unfortunately, they just undermanned, bro. They just undermanned. I think it's this too.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't know if it's a sweep. It may be a gentleman's sweep. I think Brooklyn will maybe get a game at home, but I do feel like it's going to be a tough task. Just not enough weapons. Defensively, they're good enough, but offensively, they just don't have enough weapons to score against them. And the B's a man on his own. They don't have enough depth for him. It's just Claxton's too light. Can't stay in front of him. You can back him down at any minute, any moment, man. And we saw it today. He was just a bear in the paint. So that's going to be an issue for them. Just not having the size and the talent in the front court and the depth to play against Embiid. You got to have the bodies and the strength to play against Embiid. They just don't have it. So I don't see where they can go with it next. But yeah, I feel like at this point they're just gonna have to figure that out. Maybe go in and make a trade and kind of get some big men for the so they can start trying to play in the East. Because I'm just not. As I saw, hey man, it just they don't have the size, man. So let's get into the next series. 4 against 5, Cleveland Cavaliers against the Knickerbockers. New York Knicks. These starters out. Give your thoughts on that series.
Oh man, now this series I think might go 7 because you got young talent on both sides. Donovan Mitchell has been a great addition to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That team has really flourished. You know, they had a good year last year, but now that he's there, they have leadership. They have, you know, somebody who done been in a lot of wars. And I think with them being who they are now, with the coaching that they got going on, they really has flourished. The Knicks has gotten back in the building. With through the draft and the talent that they have and acquiring Brunson, that makes a big difference with their team. And I think this is going to be a heavyweight fight. This going to be a heavyweight fight. And I think this is one of the series that a lot of people need to pay attention to, because you have young talent, you have scoring, you have defense on both sides. And I think Brunson and Donovan Mitchell are going to determine who's going to win this series. Who can lead their team? Who can put their team on their back in a close one when it's tight? The game is tight, and that pivotal, let's say that pivotal fifth game, if it 2-2, whatever, that pivotal fifth game, who gonna put them on their back? And I think the way the Knicks has been constructed now, you know, you got inside play, you got defense, you got, you know, guys stepping up from what it was last year. This is one of the best, I think, one of the best first round matchups that you're going to see. And I just think it's going to be a 7-7-7-7 game. I don't know who's going to win, but I think it's going to go 7.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. It's probably going to be one of the most entertaining series, definitely in the East. For me, who's going to be the third scorer for either team, right? Like who? Because you got Brunson, you got Randall, he's bad. He say he's talking and playing tonight. You got Garland. You got Donovan Mitchell on, Cleveland. Who's gonna be the third scorer? You know, quickly he's up for sixth man of the year. For Cleveland, will it be Mobley or Jared Allen? Like who's gonna give him that third piece to give him that 17? And I think defensively both teams are pretty much equal. Both lay their hats on, you know, making plays on the defensive end. If Jalen Brunson goes wild like he did in the regular season, I'm not sure if Donovan Mitchell will do enough, because he's shown that he's been up and down with Utah in the playoffs. He'll have a good game struggle, but this is going to be a good 7-game series to pick 'em. But I just think that, you know, New York has the edge, in my opinion, because they got the potential to 6-man of the year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 6 to 7 game series, probably 6 at the most part. I do like Cleveland in this series, just the guard play alone. It's going to be tough. I mean, Brunson, is as well as he's played this season, he's been phenomenal. You know, when you're in the there's a difference when you're in this 82 game season versus when you're actually in the playoffs. He was great last year, but he kind of came out of nowhere. This year, I think it's going to be one of those series that you know people are going to focus on Brunson. Cleveland's got a lot of bodies in the interior they can throw at him when he tries to go to the lane with Mobley and the other big man that's in the middle. So I do think they got the Jared Allen, right? So I do think they got the size to play against them, where it's going to be very tough to see how can Cleveland counteract that, and how can New York counteract that? Because Randall does play. He's good. He's a very good player, but he does struggle against height sometimes, especially in the post. So can he bring them out? Can he spread them out? I mean, this is probably, you know, for the first time in a long time, this probably be New York's first, you know, it's going to be one of New York's first time in years that they can get out the first round. They've had teams they made to the playoffs, but didn't get out the first round. I mean, there was a Carmelo team with J.R. Smith. That team was very talented, but I don't know if they made it out the first or second round. So they've always got to this point where they've had good teams, or they're well enough to get to the playoffs, but then they don't make it past there. So it'll be good to see New York get to the second round. I think Madison Square Garden would be lit, but I don't see them beating this team. I think Cleveland has too much talent. So I just feel like that's gonna be just a different game in general. But we'll see. That's why they play the game.
Yes, sir.
That's why they play the game, man. So all right, so let's get into the next. Let's get to the West. Did we do all the teams? We did all the teams. So now we're on the West. Let's get to the West Coast. They say that's the best coast.
That's coast.
All right, well, so let's get to the West.
So about that, you have a technical difficulties.
Yeah, so let's get into the West because they said, like I said, that's the best coast, right? And let's talk about first. Let's do a little quick recap. We saw two good teams, two good games actually. One when we saw the game with the Pelicans and Thunder, a lot of young talent, a lot of real good young talent that played in that game. That was a very epic game. A lot of ebbs and flows, comebacks, teams just doing what they do, right? And then we get into the next game where the Lakers and the T-Wolves. That was a pretty interesting game as well. The T-Wolves and the Thunder was kind of a blowout. But give me your thoughts, D, on that game, Lakers and the T-Wolves. What did you see about the Lakers that make you feel confident in them moving forward in the playoffs?
Nothing. The Lakers, and the only reason I say that is the Lakers. It's like you don't know what you're going to. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. You'll get aggressive AD one night, then you get an AD sitting over here watching the game with me. Can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He over here with a torn Achilles like me, just sitting here chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's weird with them. And I know with the young talent they got with Vanderbilt and Schroeder and all of the other guys, you would think that they wouldn't have these lapses that they're having. But it's like you don't know what you get. You get a good game, you get a bad game. And it should have been an easy game. Even though the T-Wolves got young talent, you didn't have Rudy Gobert in the middle. I mean, Big Cat played when he played, But at the same time, I just felt like the Lakers, knowing what was at stake with them, they should have been more aggressive. They should have came out, got the game over. You go into overtime, messing around. You got AD fouling the man on a three-point play. You're turning the ball over. It's just basic stuff, basic basketball things that continue to hold them back. And if Shooter don't make that big three, you know what I'm saying, and it's another issue. So at the end of the day, I think they got Darvin Ham has got to figure out, stop them from turning the ball over, making better decisions with the ball, and stop committing dumb fouls. They got to stop, but they got to get more out of that bench. You can't have three starters only get 7 points. 7 points. Like you can't have that. You got to get more production, or if not, it's gonna be ugly today or starting tomorrow. It's gonna get ugly.
Yeah, I don't take too much out of the game, bro. Minnesota's a good team, even though they're underachieving this year. But Cat been out a lot this year. Rudy was out last game. I wouldn't put too much stock in them struggling. It happens, bro. Like it's the NBA. Everybody's talented. Everybody's due for a bad night. But one thing the Lakers, I think, can hang their hat on is defense, right? That travels. When the offense is not working, they held them to 16 points or 19 points total between that and over. Like, so defense is where they can hang their hat. That's what I was impressed with. Offense going to come and go. AD has to be aggressive AD, 25 and 15 every night for them to go. They got potential. But for me, I wouldn't put too much stock in that playing game. They had a bad game. Both teams struggled. But defensively, when they locked in, they locked in. They raised a 15-point lead that Minnesota had. So that's what I took out of that. They can lock up defense and make depth. I think that gives them a lot of edge as they continue to move forward in the playoffs.
Man, the Lakers didn't show nothing. They ain't so shit. I don't know what you even talking about, to be honest with you.
Defensively, they showed in the second half.
They showed they could be the Minnesota team that's undermanned. That have Rudy Gobert, Bert, I think it's what it is.
Gobert,
in the middle of the court. So there was a small lineup. I mean, come on, Cat was getting what he wanted in the first half. Anthony Edwards played absolutely awful, and you had to beat that team in overtime.
It happens, bro.
It does not happen.
When they were full strength,
it does not happen.
2 weeks ago when they played Minnesota, they beat the brakes off them in Minnesota.
Ooh, full strength like when?
They had everybody.
When
Minnesota had everybody.
When did Minnesota become the barometer of like
barometer?
This? Like when did they become
nobody?
But you're saying you're doing a comparison to Minnesota.
No, but we're talking about Minnesota.
Minnesota's not a good team, man.
They're not. But at the same time, when you talking, it was undermanned when Lakers played them.
You need them 2 weeks ago. What's that got to do with the game last couple of days ago?
It was a bad game on both ends, honestly.
Man, listen, Lakers. We're gonna find out real soon what the Lakers are.
Yeah, you already said they're gonna lose.
They're an average team. They're an average team. What talent? What talent do they have?
They got talent.
What talent do they have?
They got talent.
Zero
is a first round top 5 pick.
We could talk about, and he's been on like 4 teams.
But that doesn't mean you do not talented.
No, but he's been on, everybody in the NBA is talented. That's a loosely.
All right, yeah, you're right. Everybody in that talent to be in the NBA.
Everybody has got talent in the NBA.
But there's levels to the talent, though.
But
I think D'Lo is a good piece.
Well, how's his levels better?
D'Lo is a good piece, though.
How?
D'Lo can give you 17 easy. He had a bad night against the Timberwolves.
Come on, man. Listen, D'Lo has been what he is.
He's a 15 or 17
above average player.
I think he's better than that.
He's above average. He's probably your third. Maybe he's a high level fourth best player in your team or a third best player in the team. That's what he is.
And nothing wrong with that. And
nobody says nothing.
But in this case, they need him to be the third.
Well, if you take that, you put that against, let's say, the Grizzlies. Who is he better than?
I think he's
not, because if you look at the Grizzlies' third best player,
Brooks, Bain maybe.
No, it's Brooks. Bain's probably the second. Say Bain is the second. No, Brooks is the third.
I think Jaren Jackson is the second.
Well, let's say Jaren Jackson is the second. Brooks is your third. Brooks is better than damn D'Lo.
Nah, bro.
You crazy as all the way? Yes, he is.
Brooks is giving you defense and that's it.
Man, Brooks.
What about Pat Bev? He just running around here faking people.
Man, listen.
That's all Brooks doing, man.
Bain is better than D'Lo.
I don't know about that.
Bain is better. He's better than him. No, D'Lo is not that good, bro. Like he's not. When you look at all the NBA players, all the NBA talent, D'Lo. Then you look at the Lakers. The Lakers, everybody keeps acting like. First of all, they keep acting like LeBron and AD is just the greatest two players tandem ever in life, because put them on the floor, I guess they automatically supposed to be favorites, and that's not the case. That's not the case. Like they're not. Listen, D'Lo's not that good, man. And who's he gonna guard in this series anyway? We'll get into this series in a minute, but who are you gonna guard? Who's gonna guard? Because you can't check. You ain't checking Ja.
Nobody checking.
He ain't checking Bain. Brooks is better than him. Like I hate y'all don't like that dude. You may not like the way
I don't like him.
You may not like his moxie.
I don't think he's not better than D'Lo.
You may not like the way that dude carries himself.
I love it. I
love the fact that he carries himself the way he does.
Confidence,
and they're better. But anyway,
confidence. If you talk, you got to back it up. That's all. Everything.
The Lakers struggle against teams that, we're gonna find out about these teams in this next series, right? So, but let's talk about the Timberwolves. We'll start with the first matchup. The Timberwolves versus the Denver Nuggets. Should be a very interesting series. It should be a very interesting series. D, start us off on this one. What's your thoughts on this one? Who you got?
I think this one can go 7. Because I think they can match up well. They can match up well with Jokic. Rudy can do what he do. But I think Anthony Edwards, point guard play, all of that, I think they match up well. They match up well with them. Now, the difference is going to be, can Minnesota stay mentally focused? When they get leads, can they stay mentally focused and finish the game and not let Denver get back in the game? Can they not turn the ball over? Can they use what they have and make plays when they have to make plays? Does Anthony Edwards become that superstar that everybody know he can be? And when things are going bad for Minnesota, can he take over the game? Can Big Cat, like he played last night, can he step up, take over the game? Can he do those things? And I think coaching, can the coach, make the right decisions when Denver go on them runs or when they start to take control of the game? Can he slow the ball down or slow the game down to where his young players realize that, we in this series, let's not turn the ball over. Let's make mistakes and make the adjustments at the right time to get them over the hump. Because Minnesota lost a lot of games this year when they was up. They was up 15, up 20, and turn back around and lose the game. So can he get his team to be mentally focused when they got the number 1 seed, down 15-20 going into the fourth quarter? Can he complete the task? Can he make the right coaching decision? And can the players make the right coaching decision? But I do think Minnesota can beat them because they match up well with them. But it's going to come down to, can they stay focused if they up in the third quarter going into the fourth to finish the thing? But I think it's going to go 7. I think it's going to go 7.
Upset alert. Minnesota in 7. I don't like Denver the way they've been playing coming down the stretch. I get they had number 1 seed probably locked up, but I just don't like the make of this team, bro. They're a front runner. We've seen it before. Denver has had great regular seasons before. and then flop in the playoffs. Unfortunately, having Joker, 2-time MVPs up for the third this year, they just don't show up in the playoffs. I got Minnesota winning now. Losing McDaniels, breaking his hand, punching the wall, is crazy. Losing him doesn't help because, like I said, he can put him on Murray. He can check what's the kid? Played in Missouri. Jesus Christ.
Porter.
Porter, right? So he's versatile to check those two. They're gonna miss that piece, but I think this is a coming out party for Anthony Edwards. He struggled against the Lakers, had a good game last night. I think it's his time. I think with Cat and him, Gobert can kind of, he's not gonna stop Joker, but he can control the board. I got upset. Minnesota in 7.
Nah, man, this is over 5.
Woo.
5 or 6 games tops. I mean, I think Denver in 5. I think Denver's a very good team. Murray, Porter, Joker. There's too much of those 3. Too much of those 3. Their 3 is better than Minnesota's big 3. It's that simple. Yeah, can Cat have a good game? Yeah, but sometimes Cat tends to be very silent when it comes, especially in the playoffs. You saw that against last year with the Grizzlies. You saw it in the game in the fourth quarter against the Lakers. There's times where he can get real quiet in the game and not be as productive. So it's really gonna be up to his energy if they can get to that, they can win that game. But I don't see them winning more than one game. I think people underestimating Denver. Denver's a very good team. I don't think they're going to be favorites in the second round because I think that's a matchup problem. But in the first round, I mean, yes, I think it's the Clippers or the Suns. I think it'd be a matchup problem. But yeah, the first round, I don't think it's that difficult. I just don't have the faith in Minnesota, coaching staff and beyond. No, I don't feel it. I'm sorry. Nope. All right. So Grizzlies, Lakers. You know the deal. D started off. What's your thoughts? Give us your thoughts on the series and who you think gonna win.
This series depends on AD. No Clark, no Adams. If the Lakers control the boards, they win it in 6. They win it in 6. Period. I think if the Lakers control the boards and not turn the ball over, and AD comes to play like AD should be playing every night, I think the Lakers win in 6. If he don't, and he passive aggressive, I think they lose. I think they lose in 5. Period.
You said the Grizzlies win in 5 if AD don't show up?
If AD don't show up, because now you're not controlling the boards. You're not controlling the board. You don't have no Adams. You don't have no Clark. There's no excuse for AD not to control the boards. Vanderbilt, there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
Jaren Jackson gonna be probably defensive player of the year, though.
That's only one person. But you know what Jaren Jackson does? He commits dumb fouls.
Yeah.
He commits dumb fouls. So if he gets in foul trouble, who getting the boards?
Yeah, it's just a problem.
So now you got to take one of your forwards to put on AD. This is where LeBron got to be smart. He got to go to the paint now.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So Darvin Ham, this whole series depends on AD. You don't have no big man on their team that can guard you. The dude from Michigan State, he can rough you up, but he fouled too. So I mean, at the end of the day, if AD don't average 35, he at least can get 35. But if he don't come to play and play like everybody expects AD to play, the Lakers gonna lose in 5. Because that's where Memphis is going to run them up and down the court. It's going to be a fast pace. They don't have nobody to guard Ja. So at the end of the day, it's going to be an up and down game. Bang gonna get you his, he gonna get you, to jump outside shots. Jaren Jackson can shoot from the outside. And if he doesn't get in foul trouble, then now it becomes really even harder then for the Lakers. Now Brooks, he gonna give you the good defense and talk crazy and do what the hell he wants, like he be a Pat Bev and run around. Who cares? But at the end of the day, AD.
Man, don't be talking about the second best player on the Grizzlies.
Man, that dude's sorry.
He's not sorry, but I didn't say he's second best.
I'll give him.
I say he's better than D'Lo.
Well, D'Lo
averaging
17. D'Lo averaging 17. He averaging 14. So they about the same. It's difference of 3 points. They the same.
No, he's better than D'Lo because D'Lo is D'Lo's not the defender he is.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's true.
So
that's
but I mean,
that's
you know,
that's the
But
difference.
that's just
To me,
saying
they
like
even.
Brooks ain't the scorer. D'Lo is.
D'Lo,
Like,
exactly.
Actually, he probably is.
No, he's not.
Because the simple
No,
fact,
he's
yes,
not.
he is. If
He's averaging
he
14.
is.
he wasn't even a scorer in
He's
Oregon.
averaging,
averaging,
Dylan Brooks is averaging
And one
14. D'Lo's
if he's
averaging
at 14 and the other one having 17, then what
So
do you
they're
think?
no
Why do you
different.
think?
They even. They're the same person.
Why you think? Why you
It's the
think
same
3 points
person.
would be? That doesn't. But you can say that. But hold on. Let me finish my statement. If you're gonna say 3 points is not the score, he is the scorer. He is. It's a 3 points difference. He is the scorer. He is. He's just a better defender. He's the better defender. He's their top defender on the perimeter.
absolutely.
That's what he
No
is.
question about that.
But is D'Lo?
No.
Like,
That's not his strength.
difference.
That's
So,
not his strength.
Jaren Jack scores more points, right? And Dylan Brooks is the fourth best scorer on their team. Fourth best. He's the fourth best scorer on their team. There's Jaren Jackson, there's John Morant, and there's Bain. That's their top 3 scorers. Hands down. That's their top 3 scorers. Then comes Brooks. D'Lo is the 3rd best scorer on the Lakers. Correct?
Yes.
He's in the top 3, and he's probably one of their worst defenders. So, like, what's the point of this conversation? He's a better player than him.
They average, bro. They both
They
average.
both
have
have
their strengths. Both
No.
have their strengths.
exactly what he's a better player than him. Because when he makes up where they're both the same type of score, averages. Maybe 3 points is a difference. You may think 3 points is different. I just look at it. Jaren Jack shoots a couple more shots than he does.
I don't even look at it from a scoring average standpoint. I just think situations matter, right? Yeah, Brooks is probably the 4th option as far as scoring, so he's not going to score more. Same way with D'Lo. D'Lo has been with Minnesota. He's been with Golden State. He's been with LA. Like, he's always been the 3rd option. Always. So
That's not true because he was the first option when he was in Brooklyn.
Okay. Outside of Brooklyn then. He was in Minnesota. Anthony Edwards ascending. Cat ascending. Like, he's pretty much been the 2nd, 3rd option a lot of the stop.
That's his problem.
Right? It's not a situation.
He wasn't in the second. He was behind. I think it was with B.I. But his first 2 times, he was the number 1 option his first couple of years.
Man, both of them dudes ain't
He
getting
can
no
go
better.
for 40. He has the talent. I don't see 40 out of Brooks.
I'm not relying on no D'Lo in this series. That's exactly what I would do.
He can be an X factor.
Man, get your point on the Lakers against the Grizzlies.
Lakers in 7. And I think the reason why you're going to have a game where AD just don't show up. Like, you just get it. And I think the Lakers lose game 1. They win game 2 and game 3. And it's the pressure now in Memphis to win game 4. Because if you don't, you might go home in 6. Right? Because now the pressure is on to try to win back-to-back games on the road and in at home. So I just think the lack of size, they signed the kid Lofton. He's a big body, but he shouldn't be able to stop AD. And the key is, bro, which third scorer is going to outscore each other, whether it's D'Lo or Bain. And I think the Lakers have to limit the 3-point shooting for Memphis. Right? Memphis can shoot it out the gym, but Ja gonna be Ja. Ja gonna average 25 to 30. You know that. But I think the boards and 3-point basketball is the key to the Lakers winning game. The Lakers can't lock up when they want to. They're just not gonna do it the whole game, but they can do it in spurts. And I just think the depth the Lakers have that can throw bodies at Ja, kind of weigh him down a little bit, throw bodies at Bain. They have enough, and I think the Lakers will be a great series.
Man, this series ain't gonna be nothing. This is gonna be a 5-game series. Woo. The Grizzlies are gonna beat them in 5. Woo. It's not gonna be close of a series. It's really, everybody wants to depend things on the regular season because the Lakers won 2 and the Grizzlies won 1. But in that one game when the Lakers came to, it was a close game to literally the 4th quarter started, and then they got blown out. And so at this point, listen, man, I don't get it. Lakers are not a good team. I don't care if you got LeBron James or AD on that team. They're still not that good of a team. I don't care what pieces you brought, D'Lo, whatever. They're not a good team. They're not a great 3-point shooting team. They do nothing great. Everybody says, "Oh, they're a great defensive team." So is the Grizzlies. Like, this series over in 5. Like, it's not even who can they stop? They can't stop anybody on that team.
Who can the Grizzlies?
Johnson go left and right. Just what is LeBron? LeBron guards nobody. Who's gonna guard?
I asked you who gonna stop AD and Bron for the Grizzlies?
You don't need to. You just need to score enough points. That's what you need to do.
You got to get some stops.
You got to offset. No, you need to score enough points.
JD,
and I always look at the third player. The third best player is always gonna be different. And Bain is better than D'Lo.
But he don't. But Bain don't. He's not consistent every night.
Man, what games are you watching?
What games
Like, what are you talking about? Yes, he is.
Okay. I tell you this.
What are you talking about?
The Lakers, if you ain't got no inside game and you can't rebound, Memphis is going home, bro. I know you love Memphis. That's your team. They going home, bro.
What do you think? First of all, when you say you don't have inside game and you don't rebound, what is about this Lakers team make you think they're going to be good enough to stop that? Stop anything?
But this is the thing.
We haven't seen. Hold on. We haven't seen. Let me finish. Because what's your statement? You're making a loose statement off no fact, and that's what you probably should really think about. You're making it. What is Lakers play have shown you? If you don't have a deep, you have to have a certain type of style to beat them. Because as currently constructed, this Lakers team has not played in the playoffs, so we don't really know. So how can you make that statement? Because if that's the case, Minnesota would have won in the playoff playing game because they got an inside game with Cat, and they lost.
If you can't rebound, JD, you will not win.
So who to say Minnesota's not? Memphis. It's not a good rebounding team. Who doesn't rebound for? Jared Jackson rebounds for him.
You don't have. That's only one person.
Bro, they got multiple players who can rebound the ball. You
You're not answering my question. It's the same thing.
Rebound.
Let me ask you a question. If Jaren Jackson get in foul trouble, where we know he commits dumb fouls, who are you going to have to rebound for them?
Whether they have rebound, you got the kid from Michigan State we just talked about, right?
He
can rebound the ball, but you rebound as a team. Just that simple. You rebound as a team. Doesn't matter where you met. You rebound as a team, so they just need to make a conscious effort of rebounding.
Okay, so the same statement I just made,
you're trying to say they can't. They gotta have an inside game. What is it?
No, I did not say.
What has AD showed you? What has AD showed you?
Rebound. You have to be able to rebound to win. That's what I said.
Do they have a rebound deficit right now? Because Grizzlies.
If you don't have Adams, you don't have Clark. Who is going to rebound for them, JD?
The middle of the season. So what is your notion?
Who is going to rebound for them, JD?
Adams has not played.
It's a big piece.
He's not played.
Playoffs, JD. Nobody. What you always say.
What does that have to do? What does that have to? You just not listening to me. He has not played. He has not played since the middle of the season.
Clark played,
he has not played. So at this point, what is the matter about?
A month ago, he's got hurt a month ago.
Adams has not played since the middle.
I'm not talking about Adams. I'm talking about Clark. They had Clark. He just got hurt a month ago.
Man, Clark tore his ACL. His Achilles almost a month and a half ago now.
But both of the bigs are missing though.
That does not mean whether they're going to play. They can't rebound the basketball.
I didn't say that.
Like they can't rebound.
I did not say that.
You can't make a more effort for it.
No, I just said the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying
trying to repeat what I'm saying.
They have to do it.
Like you have to, and I will do it. Like you got to do it. They got to rebound as a team, but you there's nothing you have credible that you've seen from the Grizzlies to say since those two dudes have no longer on this court, they're not rebounding the ball well. You can't. There's nothing you have. You don't have no information for that.
What I said was without those two dudes and AD comes to play like AD comes to play and Vanderbilt, I said they would win the series. Lakers would win the series because if they don't if they can rebound the ball, who are you going to have rebounding for them? Now you saying it got to be a conscious effort by the team, but I just said that those dudes that you named that should be helping rebounding, those dudes get in foul trouble. If those dudes get in foul trouble, who are you going to have to rebound the ball?
But you're literally making my point. You're literally making my point. And when I say they have to have a conscious effort.
But that's what you're hoping to happen.
That's not what's not been hoping. That's what's been happening. They have been rebounding the ball collectively as a team.
It's
that's
different.
Been rebounding the basketball.
It's the what y'all always
whether we want to make it seem like the playoffs is you either have weaknesses, your weaknesses are just glaring in the playoffs. That's all it is. I mean, if you're a poor rebounding team early in the season, that's what happened to Miami. They weren't that great of a rebounding team all season. It showed in the playing game that they were struggling to get the rebound. They were a small front court team. And that's what the issue was. It's just that simple. It was nothing new. Everybody saw it all season with Miami. Same thing. So if the Grizzlies have not had an issue, they've had problems rebounding the basketball, right? And the Lakers don't have the biggest front line anyway. So it's a simple fact. They just need to play the way they play. If they keep doing what they're doing all season long, we'll see. But it ain't like. I'm looking at also how the Lakers have slow big guards. It's gonna be an issue having to check those quick young guards with Bane and John Morant. They're gonna attack that paint all day and shoot the three. So we'll see. We're gonna move on though. We're gonna move on to our next topic. Let's get into the 3-6 matchup. Sacramento versus Golden State Warriors. Let's talk about it, man. D, start us off again. What's your thoughts on this series, and how many games do you think your winner is going to win it?
I think Phoenix win in 6.
Nope. So we're talking about Sacramento.
Oh, my bad.
And Golden State.
My bad.
Pay attention,
Stay with me, man. Stay
My
with me.
bad.
Maybe you need one of these, big dog. You need one of these. Maybe you should get you one of these, man, to get your stuff together.
Oh no! Either get one of these.
Oh man, this series, I don't know. I think Sacramento has done well all season. Mike Brown has done a great coaching job when they acquired Sabonis, with Darren Fox, Malik Monk, and all those guys really taking off. The Golden State have their struggles winning on the road. It's going to be tough. I think Mike Brown is going to be the deciding factor. I do think, Golden with Wiggins coming back, whether he plays or not, I think that gives them a little bit more depth for scoring, but we don't know where he's going to be at mentally. I don't know about this one.
Can you pick one, please? I mean, we do have a time frame on this.
Give me. I'm gonna take the veteran group in Golden State. I think
Golden State in how many?
6.
Yeah. Okay, Golden State is 6. Ray, what you got?
Yeah, I think it'll be one of the most entertaining, high scoring. Lack of Golden State winning on the road. I think that extends the series, but I think Golden State are still one. I got Golden State winning in 6 games.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think it's gonna be a home series. I think both teams are gonna hold serve into Game 7, and I think Sacramento is gonna put this team away. So I got Sacramento in 7. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I just think that's what it's gonna be. I think both teams are gonna keep winning on their home court. Sacramento's probably a better road team than Golden State. Yeah. They've had their struggles as well, but it's gonna be highly contested. A lot of scoring, a lot of talent on the floor. A lot of different moves being made. Mike Brown, you gotta see. I want to see what Mike Brown can do doing in a playoff series, because without LeBron, we really haven't seen him make any playoff appearances. So now you got a team, a lot of talent. You got to make the adjustments that's needed. But yeah, man, I like Sacramento 7. Good one. Let's get into that 4-5 matchup. Phoenix Suns versus LA Clippers. See who you got.
Man, give me Phoenix. Give me Phoenix. KD, I think him and Booker gonna get it done. CP3, just be average, get you 10 points, at least get 10 points, 12 points. But I think KD, this is his time to really show that, you can put me anywhere, I can make it happen, and we can move forward and get to the conference finals. I'm going with Phoenix. 6.
Yeah, it's a quick series, man. 5. No PG. I just think they don't have enough. I mean, they're playing with Powell. That's house money. Kawhi would have to be the Kawhi of probably the goddamn Toronto. So they need to have a shot. Too much KD, too much Book, too much Aiden on the inside. Zubac too slow. It's 5. Phoenix in 5.
This is gonna be an interesting series. I don't think it's gonna be 5. I think it's also gonna be a 7-game series. Yeah, I don't think Phoenix has a depth in this. I mean, if you look at it, across the board, right? Okay, so you look at the best players. You're gonna have K1, right, and then you're gonna have Kawhi. Those are 2 of the best players. But then Booker comes after KD. After Kawhi. And with no PG, of course, yes. But then once you get past those 2, this is going to be a tough series. All right, right? Once you get past those 2, the best 3 players, now you start looking at the Clippers team, and they got a lot of talent that can versus what Phoenix does. So I don't think it's gonna be a short series. I think this is gonna be one of those things where, you know, it can go 7 games, 6 or 7 games, but I think it's gonna be a 7-game series. And I do like Phoenix in 7, but I do feel like, you know, the way these teams match up, you watch how they're matching up against each other. Like I said, once you get past the best of the best, like, you know, KD, Kawhi, Booker, and then after that, it's a host of Clipper players that at that point is just a better team overall, have better players and better depth. Then, because I mean, you can't. Are you going to rely on? Are we all going to rely on CP3 in this series for sure? Absolutely not. Not at this age.
He got to be the +1.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing like all these. I'm seeing it, and you can start seeing it now. Like the way this may iron out is, okay, once you get to that game 3, and they both go 2-2, right? And they go back to Phoenix for game 5. That can be a very pivotal game because, I mean, the Clippers have that type of talent that can beat them. Imagine it, and they haven't ruled out PG just yet. But if he comes back in there and he comes in, and he can give you about 75-80% of him, that changes a lot of different things.
Yeah, that changes.
So, yeah, it's going to be one of the interesting series, but I do think the Clippers have the depth to stay in the series and take at least 6-7 games for sure. Right. So I got Phoenix in 7 games. All right, man. So we just went through the playoffs. Our playoff recap for both teams. I think that was good stuff right there. Good conversation. All right, so let's get into a little bit about the Warriors. You know, a lot of people are thinking this may be their last run if they get through this playoff goal and win a championship. D, do you think it'll be over for them?
Nah, I think you keep what they got. You keep what you got. You know, I mean, you work around to see to get a couple of more younger pieces. See if you can find a legitimate big man. Looney okay, but you know, that ain't. He's not whatever. But at the end of the day, you keep that team together. What you gonna bust it up for? You've been winning. I mean, nobody thought you could win the championship last year. A couple of things fell your way last year. Ja getting hurt. You know, a couple of people got hurt along the way that made it, and then Boston didn't show up in the playoffs. So if anything, I would keep that team for another year. There's no need to bust it up. Why? I mean, why? I mean, this one last year. Huh?
You pay Draymond? You pay Draymond?
What? You keep him. I mean, it's just like being with the Spurs. They didn't trade. They didn't get rid of nobody. People just retired and they just ran old. But you let it run the course. Because sooner or later, I mean, eventually somebody's gonna get traded. But for that team where it's constructed and the way they play, you keep what you got. Because you take Draymond, now it becomes more pressure on Steph to bring the ball up the court, to do the certain things that Draymond does for them, which get them easy shots. You know, you didn't
way over the luxury cap, bro.
Yeah, but guess what? Like we always talk, you figure it out. You got the money, you paid them. You don't.
But Draymond value himself more than probably what his talent is worth.
No,
you know he's gonna ask for the bag.
Yeah, but then you got to go to Draymond and say, look, this is the bull stuff. This is the stuff that we had to deal with you all the way up to this point. You know, so you got to at least level it out. And then in addition to that, where's Draymond really going to go?
Somebody that wants the leadership and the defense.
Yeah, but
he bring a lot of intangibles. I think a veteran team will want that.
But that's the thing. Who's going to keep putting up with the antics?
I mean, it come with it, bro.
That's my point. So that's my point. Everybody ain't gonna want to put up with that. So you already with Golden State and they putting up with it and you're winning. So where are you gonna go? You better off staying right there where you at and keeping it moving. Period.
Yeah, I think this might be the last you ride. I don't think they're gonna re-sign Draymond, and he's the heart of that team. You know, Wiggins is a nice piece. Don't get me wrong. Poole is the center. You done paid him. I just think, you know, you can't really make too many additions to the team from a financial standpoint, especially with this new labor agreement. It's just gonna make it a little bit harder. The West is getting better, and I just think Steph is getting a little older. You know, he's getting banged up every year now. Seems like, you know, Clay seems like he's rounding back into form though. But I just think this might be maybe this year, maybe next year. But after that, I think it's probably not doing anything wrong. But the Kings are ascending. Teams are just getting younger, man. They're getting better, and it's hard. And when you lose the lack of focus of how bad they were on the road this year, it's tough, bro. It's tough to keep winning that grind of a 8-year span to keep going to the finals every year. It just wears on your body.
Man, who cares, bro? I don't know. What's the question?
This guy here.
Why are we talking about the Warriors? I mean,
This
last
guy.
run, until I see it, then we'll worry about that point. But I mean, I can't anticipate with this be the last run because I mean, if you look at the talent they had up under them, I don't think the guys who those first round draft picks that they picked didn't pan out the way they thought it was. I think they thought that the kid that they traded to Detroit was going to be a better player.
I think they gave up too soon.
I thought they thought I mean the other couple of kids they have a lot of talent, and they're very athletic. But I just feel like they're not panning out the way their thoughts and their initial thoughts was by drafting those guys in the top 2, 3, 4, or 5 or whatever pick that they had. So there's no pressure for them to actually move on from Clay or Steph. There's no pressure to have to move on from Draymond because they don't have anybody behind them to take his place. So if you recall, Draymond, both and Steph were two players that came off the bench. They weren't starters initially when they came to it. So they don't have any pressure to really have to move forward with anything but just stay on course, see how long they can run this team, keep them healthy as possible, and then keep moving forward. Because if they don't win this year, there's a good possibility next year. Because they have some of the best about to say front office. We have front office in the business who knows how to keep that team, afloat. So I listen. This is until this happens, then we can have that discussion. Right now, do I think it's their last one? No.
Then you got the Kings beating them.
So I have the Kings beating them because I just think the Kings right now are a better team. Right now, but that doesn't mean that the Golden State can't make a move and become a better team.
Sure, they can make moves.
They can make moves. They've done it before.
They're going to have to get rid of Wiggins or Draymond or something.
They've done it. They've done it before.
They got a little team up to make.
Listen, they win trade for D'Lo just to trade for.
Yeah,
but use them as an asset.
But you
just use them as an asset.
Yeah.
Did that not happen? They're willing to do those type of things. So to say they can't make any moves, they will make moves.
They'll be limited.
They will make moves.
They'll be limited.
Whether they're limited or not, they will make moves.
We're gonna see in the next year.
So I don't do. I think it's their last one. We just have to see it till it happens. I'm not even worried about it.
Sure.
Now, what I'm really focused on is what's going to happen down in New Orleans with Zion. I think that's going to be interesting because I mean, just him not playing that playing game. But before the game, he's dunking. He's doing all warm. He's warming up. He's dunking the ball, and everybody's like, "Man, what's happening?" That to me is going to be a bigger issue for anything else than the Warriors. Who cares about the Warriors when it comes to a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal talent like Zion, and he's afraid to play. Like he doesn't want. I don't know if he wants to injure himself again. I don't know what's going on with him, but that's a bigger discussion. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's up with Zion. Like it's clear that the team is frustrated. Other players are frustrated. They're playing hurt. CJ McCollum played hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He has to get surgery on his hand through the season end. So all these things are happening, but Zion don't want to play, man. He doesn't want to push that pressure on himself. And I get it. He's been injured a lot. We all know the stats. He's played like 100 games, I think, 112 games. He's missed 114 or something like that. And, I mean, can they be patient? Can they be like Embiid? I don't know. These start us off, man. Give your thoughts on what's going down in the bayou.
Man, listen. Zion is trying to pull a Kawhi. He don't want to be there. He took the bag. And I'm just like, bro, everybody we keep talking about is Wade, and we keep talking. We knew that when we first came into the league. Is what? How many? He done been in the league? What, 4 years now? 3, 4 years?
Oh. So
4 years. We talking about the same thing. His weight. He needs to get. He knows that. He don't want to be there. Like, dude. They were balling. They were what? Number 1 in the West, number 2 in the West when he was playing. The dude is a great talent. He has on the floor explosive. He got all the talent in the world, but mentally, it ain't there, bro. And I just think, and I get it. They don't want to get rid of him, or they don't want to trade him, but your team is a good team. Now they can be better with him, but at this point in time in the game, this is gonna go on until he gets up out of there. So I just think trade him. Trade him. I mean, you can't. You got the bag, and you still didn't. You ain't even try to play, but you out there doing windmill dunks and stuff. Oh hell, you should have did that in the game. You probably would be in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We'd have had to go. You know what I'm saying? You probably would have been in the playoffs. You did not even give an effort. Well, I do it when I feel like I'm ready. Well, you out there ready, spinning around like a helicopter, dunking the ball. What's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's just to me. That shows a lack of professionalism on his part. You've been out since January, bro. You got some of the best trainers or whatever, Nike, whatever, and you still can't be fixed. And it's still a problem. You got dudes who play football come back from hamstrings quicker than he done came back from. Like it's ridiculous. If I'm New Orleans, you got to go, bro. You don't want to be here. You got other people playing hurt. You know what I'm saying? If he could have gave them these 10 points the other night, couple of rebounds, just something, they probably would have won the game. Just at least try, bro. You got the bag. It's not like they owe you money. They done paid you your money. And at the end of the day, trade them to somebody who you can get some nice pieces for to build on what you got. Because their team not bad. They got McCollum, who's a great leader. They got the young talent. They're young. They got young talent. They just got to let and you already know that it's messing up that locker room. Him not playing. Nobody else might not think so, but he's messing up the locker room. And guess what? You just move on. Just move on. It is what it is.
Nah, man, you got too much talent to move on, bro. But I think from a player standpoint, they see it every day. Right? They see him probably in practice. It didn't help that he was warming up dunking. And I get it. Running in the game is different, change of pace, all that. I get it. You may not trust the hamstring like he wants, but I think you got to give your team something, right? And then Dave Griffin came out today. They said that he wasn't cleared for 5-on-5. What I know about pro sports, watching it, the players control players do what they want to do if they want to, bro. If the team say no, I'm playing tonight. So if Zion could have gave him at least 10, 15 minutes of the bench as a spark, that could have been a huge momentum pushing them to get further in the play-in, right? So I think he said he's 99%, but mentally he just wasn't ready. And I get it, bro. It's probably tough, dog. Being a young kid, may not trust the training staff because you look at the Michael Thomas situation. They probably share the same stat. It's a lot, but at the end of the day, as a professional athlete, I would have tried. Me personally, just to give it a go. If I damage my hamstring again, all right, fuck it, bro. But I gave my team all I had and I tried. And I think that's what some of the players in the locker room, but just try, bro. You look at CJ, torn thumb, bad shoulder. He's giving it a go. That's just where they are in their career. CJ know he may not have this chance again. Right? Zion's been in the league 4 years. And he may feel he got a long career, but I would have gave it a chance. And I can see the frustration from players in the locker room. But, you play for the playoffs, brother. Get in and have a shot. And if I think they'd have got in as an 8 seed, they would have had a good shot to probably gave Denver a good shot. But, it's unfortunate, man, but I wouldn't definitely trade them. They're just too talented. You just got to play and, look, give me 60 games, bro. Nobody ain't crying that L.A. trades AD when he plays 60, 65 games a year. It's no different. Right? Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. The kid going through
it. What I find? It's an unbelievable stat. It's 82 games in the season. B.I., CJ, and Zion played 10 games together.
That's crazy.
At one point during the season, the Pelicans was the number 1, number 2 seed. It was early mid-season. And just that fall from there just says a lot. And it just says his impact on his team, they need it. And what I think I don't understand is a guy who last year And they were stating when they were watching them play against Phoenix in the first round. I think that was it was last season. They talked about how he was in tears because he couldn't get on the court and play against Phoenix, and how he wish he could help his teammates. So to go from that frame of mind to going to at this part of the year and have a playing game, all win type of game format, and not want to get out there and play, man, that says a lot, man. Something's going on with him psychologically that I just can't put my finger on. And it could be that he wants out of New Orleans. Because, I mean, just hearing what the reports were about last year, and it was just because he just couldn't do it because he was hurt, versus this year, and they're like, he's out there dunking and laughing and joking around, but overall, he's just not, ready to play because of the mental standpoint. Like, what's going on here? And man, listen, for a city like New Orleans that needs a winner, they follow winners. They crave winners. They love winners. You got to be able to go there and be successful, because even if they trade Zion, what were they going? I mean, if they trade him anywhere, I'm great. He'll be a good asset on a team, but is that gonna make him eat less? Is that gonna make him keep his body in shape? I mean, like, that's not gonna do that, is it? So I don't get what the issue is, to be honest with you. I think at this point I can see the frustration with the players, because you're looking at it like, man, like, seeing it in practice, seeing it on the 4 games, it's not equating to the game, and it's not equating to wins that allows them to keep playing forward. And if you're a person, a second round draft pick, or third round, not second round draft pick, or a free agent, or you're somebody who they got that they signed, but didn't get drafted, you look at those type of things, and you look at a guy like that who has a lot of talent, you're just like, man, this is ridiculous. So it's just one of those things he's gonna have to figure. He's gonna have to do some internal searching. He's gonna have to look within himself this offseason, because it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be an issue till he figures it out. Right? And he has to eventually make it throughout the season, healthy, and get into the playoffs, so he can feel what the playoffs feels like. You remember that game? It was a game this past season. This past season, I think he was playing Phoenix, and I think he went and dunked the game. They beat Phoenix. I think there was number 2 seed, number 1 seed at that point. People were just like amazed, like, man, like, look what it was just a playoff atmosphere to it, and it feels like so long ago because of what happened at the end of the season and how they tailed off and they had to get into the playing game. So it's going to be interesting, man, and see what's happening moving forward. Because here's the thing: the Pelicans and New Orleans cannot fail to make a haste decision, and they cannot fail to make the right decision. Because if they do, they can set their organization back another few years, like they did with AD. Because they still haven't got anything after AD trade yet, right? PI, yes, and Larry Nance, yes, but they had to get rid of Josh Hart. Moved on from him. They moved on from some other players, and they still haven't got those draft picks. They haven't maximized the draft picks just yet. So that's going to be different, man. It's going to be interesting how this moves forward. All right, man. So let's get to the next topic. My final 2 topics, and let's get some NFL football. Let's talk a little bit about your Commanders. I wish we had the song, the Fighting Commanders song.
Please,
like, fight Commanders. Who are we? Commanders. Like, y'all ever heard that song?
No.
Have you heard? Yes, you have. You've heard it. You've heard that song.
Man.
Who are we?
I try not
Commanders.
to that joint. That's for the young kids.
Fight for it's actually a grown old man that
That's for the young. I'm a Redskin fan. I'm an old school fan.
Man, stop saying the Redskin, man. That's not politically correct, brother. It's politically incorrect. You know what I mean? Stop using slander. But anyway, your Washington Commanders they're almost about to sell this team. It's about to happen. Daniel Snyder's about to sell this team. But by the way, let's point this out. They just got another offer for $7 billion cash. Straight cash. So give me your thoughts. So first of all, give me your thoughts, because you are the Commander fan on this panel, part of this team. D-Man, when you heard about that $7 billion, what were you thinking? Did you think he should go with that one? Did you think he should go with that deal? Or should he stick with Magic Johnson and I think Josh Harris deal in the Harris group?
Man, I mean, he gonna go with whoever who he gonna go with, but I'll take the Harris group. I mean, it'll benefit us because you got people in that group has already dealt with sports team, got a sports consciousness of what's going on and things like that. If you get another owner don't have no consciousness of sports, and you're gonna end up in almost in the same situation. You gotta have somebody with some sense, and you got to hire the right people. And when he came in, he didn't hire the right people. He did what he wanted to do, and it killed the franchise. Period. You went from people selling out to doggone people giving away tickets for $2. So I mean, the right person got to be hired, and he got to be vetted by the NFL. So I mean, whichever deal he take, everybody got to be vetted. Period. But I think just for me and the people that is involved with the Harris Group, where you have this guy you got partial ownerships and other sports teams, it'll be better for us and the fans. It'll be better for the fans and the team itself because you got people like Magic, a part of this group. You got people who have played sports and been involved in sports. So I think he should go with the Harris Group. And I know the dude told me he got $7 billion to cash, but shit, you don't know what you're getting, bro. I give me the dude who already got sports, who already know about sports, who already owns sports teams. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, but it'd be hard to turn down $1 billion in the first 24, and then within the next week he giving you a 6. So that's hard to turn down. But for me personally, if I'm Snyder, you want to change the image of the team. And I think that's where the Harris Group comes in. Then with Magic Johnson, the things he touched from a people standpoint, giving jobs to the African American community. You want to change that image of what the Commanders, what the Redskins used to be under, Jack and Cook. You want to change that reputation. And I would go with the Harris Group only because of that, treating people the right way, right? And that goes a long way. The Skins Commanders used to have a ravaged fan base. Now you got Cowboys in town, you got Philly in town. The stadium is empty. It's full with the other teams now. To get back to the winning ways of the organization, I would go with an organization that put the team first, spend what you need to do to win, right? Because that's what Philly's doing. That's what the Flyers are doing. Magic with the LA teams he's got, the Dodgers, they spend to win. And I know the NFL got the cap situation, but they're going to put people first. They're going to put the team first and just change the image of the team. And I don't know about the other owner that, put the $7 billion. I'm sure if he would win, he's vetted by the league. But I would go with the Harris Group just to change the image. And Magic would be probably one of the forefront of that because just what he's done with his other businesses and other things he's done with his other teams. Show me the money. Man, listen, man. This is a business decision. It ain't personal. Go get that $7 billion, bro. That's hard, boy. Go get the $7 billion. I don't know this dude's background. Apparently, the guy who made this bid is a DC resident. I don't know. I mean, first of all, who in DC got that type of money? Because I ain't never heard nobody in DC got that type of money.
They say it's your boy from Duke. They say your boy from Duke had the money.
Ooh.
What's the guy's name? Not Robert Bricky, the other one. Who used to play with Duke? He played with Christian Laettner then.
Shit, oh.
I'm about to tell you.
I don't know what that dude is.
Guy, he did real estate. He played basketball from Duke. I'll tell you. Hold on.
That boy must have been riding the pie.
Nah, he played. He was a starter. One of the Davis, I think one of the Davis boys, the dark-skinned dude, the dark-skinned Davis dude. Yeah. He one of the dudes, yeah. It's one of them.
He might be in the group. He ain't got the $7 billion.
Well,
I don't know, bro. I ain't never heard this dude with no $7 billion. So I ain't never heard no dude in DC.
It's one of the dudes that play with Duke. It's one of the dudes that played with Duke. Because it came out right when about last month it came out that one of the dudes that used to play with Duke was thinking about buying the Redskins. And it was like a $7 billion. Yeah, like $7 billion.
Brian Davis. $7 billion cash offer.
It's the Commanders, man. It's not. It's Commanders, bro. Stop disrespecting.
Yeah,
Brian Davis.
DC native, $7 billion. Yeah, the boy played dude with Leighton and Graham now.
Yeah.
Oh, that Brian Davis. He got $7 billion. What's that boy been doing? Wait, he got $7 billion.
He said he was a big time real estate dude. Yeah.
Whew. That boy got Billy Cash.
Oh, that ain't the one dude that was talking about like how when they did
Had the flat top and all that.
the one that when they did the doc, he was stating like, yeah, like I come from the hood or something like that. Like
I think that's
I
him.
don't know if
Yeah.
was that the one that was talking about Jalen Rose and them saying what they said, and he was
Yes.
like, "Now I come from the hood." I'm like,
Damn.
where you get this $7 billion from? What was he doing?
He could have bought the Wizards a long time with Terry Elton.
He got $7 billion.
They say he had the 7 from real estate
Hey.
deals. He's a big time real estate dude. All whatever he got going
I
on.
want to. How you gonna liquidate that, man? Goodness gracious!
And
That
$7
Well,
billion.
then you get the million. Well, you do get the minority aspect of it and all that, man. That's all right, my brother.
But would the league want a majority black owner?
They need one.
That's the
Why not?
question.
They need it.
That's
But
the
we've
question.
had that. But Byron Allen tried, and he's one of the richest people in the world, and got shut out.
That's the
Right?
question.
So you can have $7 billion. Snyder might want it, but it's up to the other 31 owners to say, you know what?
Well, $7 billion is $7 billion.
True, but it still got to go to vote.
They still got to go to vote. Yeah, they still got to
go to vote. Like we've seen this before.
The owners are not going to tell us, "Hey, man, we're going to turn down the $7 billion." I don't think so. Once you do a background,
so what
you do? They've already done the background check. They've already vetted this dude because apparently he's been on try to buy other teams. So they've already vetted him. And they've also I just want to know, what does he do for a living?
Right.
So like I said, what is there details of the sports junkies? We don't want to get sports junkies, but all right, cool.
This is crazy.
I'm telling you, like the financial deal. Apparently he been put that out. He'll put the first $1 billion in 24 hours, within 7 days. What is he liquidating? Like, is he liquidating all his? What's the name of his company? What's his? He used to play for. He's a Urban Oncho Energy LLC.
I just think the owners, bro, want to prove that, bro.
He went to also the surf. I don't know if he's from like Ladensburg, he's previously a minority. Yeah, DC money. Like, man, where did he get this type of money?
That boy been on the low for real.
Okay. It's making more sense. A source told WSA 9 that Davis raised the capital of selling his intellectual property. During that time, private investors realized he had $50 billion. Holy, so he's, you know what? So that should always tell you guys this. That whole Forbes list is not always true because you ain't heard about this dude.
Facts.
So that's not always true. And he's still like, Penny, So he'll be the first black owner. I love to see it. Yeah. I don't want them just to be. I want him to really be a black owner. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be a good look.
Now, granted, if he wins it, hey, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. He done played sports. He have consciousness. You know what I'm saying? He understands. He's from here. He understands the fan base. He understands you got to put butts in seats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you can trust the ownership and trust the team, people will come and pay their money to watch the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you don't undermine the fan base, people will come to the games. People are going to pay their money. You know, but when you undermining the fan base, and the fan base, a majority people that look like us, you know, if you undermine that, people are not.
That fan base ain't just people look like us. Start telling that lie, man. Like you try to like add like, nah, no, it's not.
There's a lot of people.
DC,
there's a lot of people.
It's a lot of Caucasians and other
in
that game.
But I'm just saying from a standpoint, from the Redskins standpoint, people, commanders, people are going to come back to those games. They're going to come to the games, and with somebody who is all in with the team, and not just all in to himself and just making the money and forget about the fan base, forget about the team. As long as I'm getting my money every day, I'm cool with it. You know, it doesn't matter. And I mean, whichever one gets it, I think they would have the right people in place. But then after that, who you gonna keep as your coach? Me personally, I
think you're digging way past the foundation of what we're trying to see right here. I mean, just having a black owner would be phenomenal for the city and for that organization who's had some issues of late, especially racially and from other aspects, not just racial aspect, but also from racial undertones to issues with gender.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of different things that's been going on in that organization that I think it needs a new face, a new influx. And maybe bringing in another Caucasian man may not be something that, should be the only thing on the table. I guess I know they got Magic, and that's great. But this brother, who's also a local representation of the area, understands the relationship is going to be needed to get a stadium in the city at that. It's going to be humongous, bro. I think it'll be huge. I didn't know that. I didn't even know who he was until today. So this moment, I've heard about it. I heard about $7 billion and the $1 billion.
Yeah, it's him.
I mean, he really definitely was focused on liquidating and building that capital. But I did not know this brother's background. I didn't know his situation. And so yes, I'm 100% for him. But I am more than for Magic. Magic's done work. He has a lot of ownership stakes in different organizations, and Josh Harris as well. But I think DC needs this brother.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be huge.
I mean, it'll be
DC
perfect
to have that. Yeah,
it just depends.
Yeah.
Like go back to what Ray said. It depends on the owners. Now, but for the owners, this would be now. If they was to approve Brian Davis, it would be great. It would be great for the NFL. It would be a great look, all the way around. It'll be a great look all the way around for the NFL to approve him. It'll be a great look.
And just think if Snyder does accept that offer and then the owners turn that shit down. Or you know how bad PR that shit gonna be on.
Oh,
NFL.
It's gonna be bad because everybody knows everybody's gonna know
why it's racial.
Yeah, everybody knows it's gonna be about then. Then it's gonna be real. It's gonna be real bad. I just think, like JD said, he would be perfect if the owners was to vote him. It would change. It wouldn't change everything about what we know about the NFL, but it would give people hope to say, okay, we do have, they do have some kind of something about themselves to approve a black ownership in this league, especially what we've been through with the guy who's leaving. And like I said, all the racial undertones, all of that. It will give people hope that, yeah, it's a chance that more people can buy, professional teams.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree 100%. Hopefully, like I said, now that I know who he is, I'm going to root for him. I hope he gets this opportunity to own that organization because I think he could do a lot of good, a lot of change. I mean, we talk about the racial undertone, like I said, gender aspect, the sexual assault allegations, sexual harassment allegations, all these different things that happen in this organization. So we own it, and it's kind of been like a playpen. People can run around and do what they want. I think it'd be great to have a brother, and of course, a brother's gonna get scrutinized. Of course, they're gonna have all eyes on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the city needs that representation, right? The city needs it, and I think it'd be amazing. But I still want to know what you're doing, brother, because I need to get a job over there. I need to give me a urban, what's it called? Urban Echo LLC. I need to understand what you're doing, my brother, because we need to get together. We need to talk about some business. Not some business, business, because you're doing business, brother.
For real.
Absolutely. I'm like 7 billion. Like you out here liquidating 7 billion. Boy, you doing business, not business. You're doing it big, my brother. We are a fan of that. We are always a fan of somebody making that moolah. All right, man. Somebody else is making that moolah right now. That boy OBJ. He's making that moolah, man. He got a 15 million 1 year, 15 million. I think it could be up to be $18 million deal with the Senators. Now, hey, Lamar got a prime weapon. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Ray, you start us off on this one, man. So with OBJ signed with the Ravens, I mean, do you think Lamar wants to stay now? Thinking that, I think, and I kind of think the answer is yes because I've heard that Lamar has recruited him to come there. But do you think that will make Lamar want to sign a long-term deal? That should be probably the better question.
Nope. It's not going to make him sign long-term because how many years Odell got left, right? He's shown he's gotten hurt every year for the last 2 years. It's a nice story that if he can play 1 year with Lamar, but it was a money signing. We talked about the Jets probably was in a better situation, I think, if A-Rod going to sign there, get traded there. It's about money. Like nobody was going to give him 15 million guaranteed up to 18 million in incentives. It's money at the end of the day. But I think Lamar's still gonna be there because shit, nobody seems like they want him. But long term, nah, I can't depend on OBJ. I'm Lamar. I can't put my stake on nobody else but myself, right? When I was rolling, you didn't get me nobody in their prime. Odell coming off 2 ACLs. Like, nah, bro. I ain't buying nothing into this signing, but it's a money deal for OBJ. That's it.
Okay.
D?
I agree with you on that, bro. That don't change my mind. If anything, I mean, like you said, OBJ got 2 ACL tears. You know, you didn't want it. You really still don't want to give me nobody. I mean, you gave me OBJ, but I'm like, how do I know he's gonna be able to play next year? You know what I'm saying? After 1 or 2 games, or after 3 or 4 games, after that first hit, you know, and then, you know, the way you've drafted receivers for me, everybody you drafted and got hurt. They've been hurt since they've been there. So I'm just like, OBJ can help, but your main target still gonna be Andrews. And to make it even better, to make it more of a thing, most teams you need 2 receivers to win. You can win with 1 receiver, but so far you can win. But in that division, he needs somebody else. Mark Andrews ain't gonna be just enough, and OBJ ain't gonna be just enough.
You don't think the kid they drafted this past year?
Who,
Bateman?
Bateman?
Year, actually, or Bateman? You don't think he'll be the second receiver for him? Oh, it's Bateman.
But
Bateman
been hurt. Bateman been hurt.
He was hurt last year, but I mean, this is a new season.
Duvernay, but
you can't just say, "Hey, he's been hurt." You do get healthy at some point.
Yeah, but I just don't think. I don't think they're more or less a third receiver to me than being that 1-2.
What do you think Bateman's going to be? If he's not going to be the first. He's not going to be the lead receiver, so he has to be the second receiver. He actually put up a pretty good season last year until he got injured. He was putting up good stats.
I just don't. They need another superstar receiver.
I mean, what else do you think they're going to have? I mean, it's not going to happen. Well, Baltimore does not. Baltimore's never been a team that would like to have, outside of Steve Smith. They have not had a receiver. I mean, Antron Bowden was the only other receiver. And then at that time, I thought Bowden was we perceived to be a one, but he was coming from Arizona. He was more on a prove it type deal himself. So what are you expecting him to do? What do you? I don't get what your statement is. What do you expecting him to do?
If I were them, I would have went and try to get Nuke Hopkins than OBJ.
I don't think that's going to work.
Why would Nuke want to be out of Arizona? Nuke want to be out of Arizona. He ain't going to camp. I would have tried to give up a couple of draft picks to get Nuke Hopkins than OBJ.
You can still go get him. Like,
but why would you give up 2 draft picks? Why would I give up 2 draft picks to get up New Hop? Like, why?
No, no. What I'm saying is, I would give up a draft pick to get Nuke Hopkins. You ain't got no. I'm talking about before they got OBJ. That's what I would have did. But now that they got OBJ, I'll still try to get Nuke Hopkins. Because now if you got Nuke Hopkins and OBJ and Andrews, now you done gave Lamar weapons.
But you gotta let Bateman play. You can't just draft these dudes in the first round and it'd be like, I'm not gonna let him play. You gotta let the kid play. He's gotta play eventually. Like what you're doing is basically studying his growth by bringing in somebody else so he can't grow as a player.
But y'all always tell me it's a year to year. It's about winning. And if you ain't and all they say about Lamar is, well, you need weapons. Them guys you don't pick for Lamar ain't stepped up to the mic. It's year to year. Give me them 2. Let's make it happen.
I get what you're saying, but I think like the way you're looking at this, I can't understand it because, like I just said, man, you gotta let the kid play. You gotta let Bateman play. You can't just you gotta know what you have eventually. You gotta know what you have. You can't just think to yourself like, okay, he's not playing. We're just gonna go get D Hop. I mean, yeah, D Hop makes a quarterback better, right? But you just can't just take away Bateman off the court because he's got to play. He's got to get him. I mean, on the court, his field. He's got to play.
He can be the slot.
He can be the slot.
Is that his game? Do we know that?
I don't know because everybody can't really play in the slot.
So you gotta let this dude play. Like you can't just say, all right, we don't have the weapons. That would be like, and they got somebody who command a double team. Maybe we'll see what OBJ still has, right? But I mean, like the Eagles went and got a young, talented player to make their overall receiver core better. But they could have, if they would have got another. Let's say they got a 1, then they went and got another 1. How you gonna let Devontae Smith play?
He's got to play too eventually.
But
So you got to play. You got to let your young talent get out there to see what you got.
Well, they got rid of your boy from TCU and they drafted him in the first round and they sent him out to Minnesota.
Ooh.
What's the dude name? They drafted in the first round from TCU, the little young fast dude, and they just traded him to Minnesota this year. He was the first. Hold on, I'll tell you. Hold on.
Minnesota?
Who you talking about?
Boy, he never get on the field.
Dude for Philly, they drafted in the first round, I think last year. Before they last year, they just traded him to Minnesota. They drafted him out of TCU in the first round because they thought they were gonna get somebody else, and they picked him and they sent him to Minnesota. I'll tell you, hold on.
He's a receiver?
He was a receiver. They drafted him in the
boy
first
never
round.
played. He never played.
No, he played, and they traded him. Matter of fact, he the dude that dropped the ball. And when Philly played last year, I think when they played the Skin, not this past season now, with Jalen.
He played for Philly, not Minnesota, right?
No. He played. Philly drafted him in the first round 2 years ago. They just traded him to Minnesota.
Pascal?
It wasn't Pascal.
Not Pascal.
What's the dude name? I'll tell you. Hold on.
They didn't draft.
I know you talking. I think
they drafted him last season.
I don't remember nobody playing Minnesota outside of Osborne, Thielen, and Jefferson.
They didn't draft him last season because
I think 2 years ago they drafted dude in the first round from TCU.
I
remember
years ago. You
they
said
picked him over AJ Brown
years.
or somebody else. Yeah,
you said last year.
I know
No, I said 2 years ago they drafted a dude in the first round from TCU. They just traded him this year, so he didn't play for like 1 year with Philly.
No, 2 years ago they drafted Devontae.
Well, it might have been last year then, because he came in. They drafted him in the first round.
Season.
And he
Jalen Rager.
Yeah. They ain't give him a chance. They got rid of his butt.
No, he was there. He was there 3 years.
He was a bust.
He was there 3 years.
How many years he was there?
20.
So you got there in 20?
21.
Well, okay.
The bust.
Man, listen. Listen. Give me Noob Hopkins. Bateman, you go in the slot. I don't care if you don't know how to play. You're gonna learn how to play it. You're gonna make the adjustment. Now I got
I don't know, man. You got that's a bad example.
I don't think you can have not enough weapons, right?
Because he ain't got nothing.
You don't know what you're gonna get out of OBJ, even though he had a full year off.
Right.
But D-Hop, you know one thing. D-Hop is ball magnet.
It is, but that's the thing. One, you're not throwing it just one thing.
True.
Two, you gotta figure out what is this young talent you have. You gotta figure out what Bateman is.
But I think having OBJ and Hopkins might help Bateman to flourish even more.
No, I don't think it does because he doesn't get the ball. He's not
gonna get a lot of balls, right? Unless the Ravens change their philosophy on offense. I know they got the dude Monk from Georgia. We don't know what style of offense he's gonna run. And then that's a big key too, right? Like, are they still gonna be a running first team, or now they're gonna open it up a little bit more? If you're gonna open it up more, you need more weapons outside of Andrews and OBJ. And for them, they would want Bateman to take that next step.
That's what I'm saying. But you want him to. How you gonna know it if he doesn't play?
True. He got to stay healthy too.
Got to be on the field.
He has to stay
now, if he doesn't show up this season, and then you can say next year that we gotta figure it out. But you draft this kid in the first round. You gotta play him. I think his first year he came out slow.
I think he started the season.
I think his first season he started the season injured. This season he came out fast. Yeah, he was playing well till he got hurt. So it's just like you got to eventually see what this kid has. He was playing extremely well till he got hurt. So you got to see what he has. You just can't be like, let's go get D-Hop. Like that doesn't always work. It doesn't always translate.
Well,
so you got to be able to see it and say, man, listen, what he has, and then go from there.
Man, but you got to keep your quarterback there. Keep your quarterback there. Like Bateman, what he had 46 receptions. 500, no, what he had? 15 receptions, 285 yards.
He was hurt a lot all year, though.
Yeah. He had last season, he had more than that.
He was hurt a lot last year.
But like I said, he got hurt. Got to be able to say
he has potential.
You got to see what he has. And then it's like, we just talk about Zion. You see Zion in practice, you see Zion, but it's not translating on the court because he's not playing. But you got to see what this kid can do. Just gonna be like, man, you know what? Man, we just gonna get rid of him so we can bring in D-Hop. You got to eventually see that kid has talent the way you think he does.
So it work. So you think so his first year he had 46, 515 yards, one touchdown. Last year he only had 15 catches, 285, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
You can see splashes. but it's 2 years in a row of showing he just can't stay healthy. I think this might be a make or break year if they're gonna pick up that 50 option. A lot of teams do it in their third, fourth year.
It could be so then it should be a make or break year for Lamar because he even though he's in the MVP, he's been hurt too.
His hurt.
He hasn't finished the season last 2
ankles.
years.
But
He has not.
well, then
He has not finished the season the last 2 years. Whatever you want to paint the picture as, the number one thing is we just talked about availability being on the court.
Yeah.
He has not finished the season the last 2 years. That's a fact.
But you give him around him. I think it changes the narrative.
Listen, the narrative, whatever it is, he was hurt.
You give him better talent. You ain't got no talent. You got to shoulder the load. It ain't working.
But you give quarterbacks a lot more leash.
But the narrative can be, well, listen, the narrative can be two different things. At the end of the day, he has not been healthy the last 2 years.
True. Yeah, he got hurt.
The same knock that he's going to have is the same knock that down with the quarterback, my man down in Arizona. A lot of different players, bro. He's been unhealthy. True. He has not finished the season.
But I'll give a quarterback a little bit more leash.
Of course, because of the position. Yeah. Right? It allows you to sometimes, but the way these guys, quarterbacks play with having a lot of legs, using their legs and their arm, there's going to be issues out there. Right? There's going to be, when they have a conversation with, when they're having a conversation right now with Jalen Hurts, I'm pretty sure financially they're looking at the way Jalen Hurts plays football.
Yeah.
That's going to be dependent on how much money he gets and type of contract.
Yeah.
Because the way he plays the game.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched the Super Bowl. He ran on the end zone. He got hit.
Yeah.
He kept trucking through. Now, how many are you going to get rid of through that? Because we saw what happened to one brother down in Charlotte. When you take those type of hits in the game and out. We saw it. We saw it firsthand what happened with Cam.
Oh, facts.
So it's like, that's going to be a part of the assessment.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
If they can't stay healthy, man, you don't want to see another Mike Vick doing it. I mean, we've seen a pocket quarterback with Tua. He can't stay healthy.
Hey, he don't even run.
He don't run. So it's just like, I mean, I get what everybody's saying. It's just not like, he can't stay healthy either, bro. Everybody's going to start being evaluated for help. Yeah. That's where they're going to start looking at your contract. Like, hey, we're going to have to put this out there because you're not staying healthy. And it's going to be a situation move.
Unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, man. But this is where we're at now.
Yeah.
All right, man. So listen, that was a good discussion. It was a very good discussion, man. I don't think anybody kind of didn't say really helped change his mind or sign that new deal. Mm-hmm. I agree with you guys. I don't think it's going to change his mind, but I do feel like it could be something, but it could be a negative against Baltimore because I feel like if he goes out there with these weapons and have a 4,000 yard, almost 5,000 yard season and runs for 1,000 and has 30, 40 touchdowns, and you're really gonna have to load up the truck, right? You're gonna really have to pay him. So yeah, the weapons are cool, and hopefully he goes and master them, play well. Man, if he does play well and show up, you're gonna have to give him that money. Then you're gonna have Steve Bisciotti. You're gonna have to give him that money. You have to get that money. And Lamar may need to go get an agent, bro. I do think Lamar needs to go get an agent. At first, I kind of was like, nah, man, stick to your guns. But I do feel like this could have probably been done if he had an agent. I do. I feel like in the narrative against Lamar, when they paint this narrative against Lamar, I think that's been an issue. I think the brother who got Washington his deal, he did it in a way that allowed him to be the bad guy. And so it never fell on Washington. We all knew what Washington was doing. But the narrative allowed him to be the bad guy instead of Watson. So I think overall, that's why I think he got the money he did. I think he needs to do it. He needs to get an agent and just stop being stubborn. I think this could have been done. So yeah.
And you could have fired him, and then you could have got rid of him after the deal was done. And not like you had to keep.
They're gonna pay the 3%.
I mean, you're gonna pay the 3% anyway. So just go ahead and pay the 3%, and then go on about your bill. You beat and got your deal.
Yeah, if you get $200 million deal, I mean, if you gotta pay them, because 10% of that is $2, and that ain't even 10%. So that's like about 400,000. You gotta give that to them, give it to them.
And then you done with it.
You gotta give up $3 million of $200 million.
Yeah, you're done with it. Yeah, you're done with him.
Big of a deal.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, man. So all right, brother. So that was our last topic for the day.
Yes, sir.
Let's get our final thoughts so we can get out of here. These starters are. What's your final thoughts, man?
Oh man, great show. Gonna watching these games because there's a lot more to come down the stretch between today and tomorrow. Let's keep it moving.
Yes, sir. Great show, man. It's always good to be back in the building for another chance. Same back channel. Make sure y'all keep supporting.
Yeah, man. Hey, very good, very solid. And yo, man, just keep striving, keep growing. All right, let's get out of here. Take us out of here, big dog.
Get out of here, brother.